Now this one, listen, I want everybody to have a job. I want you to pay your bills, live your life. Again, the pursuit of happiness that the Constitution grants you, although appears to be temporarily on hold. Some of it, hey, you can't travel, you can't go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Fourth Amendment, man. First Amendment. Well, a viral outbreak, put your Constitution on hold. Oh, sorry, no, it doesn't. It never does. But again, Trump will use this. Oh, well, everyone wanted this. The whole government wanted it. So yeah, I did it, and now I got extra powers. I'm calling in the effing military, Navy. We're going after these guys. Well, in that case, Mr. President, I won't be too upset about that, as long as you're doing what we think you're going to do. Because if you don't, we're going to be in some trouble. But I don't think that's the case. I think it's going to be great. U.S. So, anyways, where I'm going with this is there might be one little part of the economy that actually makes me smile when I hear this number. When I see myself smile, it's a huge ray of light. Whoa. Here it goes. U.S. box office sales collapse to just $5,000. $5,179. I'm sorry, what? Can we channel Little John? What? Okay. What? Ding ding ding. Okay. These numbers are ridiculous. U.S. box office sales collapsed to just $5,179. Was $204 million during the same exact period 1 year ago, 2019. As millions of Americans spend quality time with their families to avoid the global pandemic, box office sales around the U.S. have predictably cratered, falling to just $5,179 from March 20th through March 26th, as movie theaters across the country remain shuttered. During the same week in 2019, ticket sales were over $204 million, thanks to Captain Marvel and Us. So far this year, domestic box office sales are down $600 million year over year, according to The Hollywood Reporter. Domestic ticket sales turned into a combined $1.81 billion from January 1st to March 19, the day when Comscore stopped reporting theater grosses. That compares to $2.41 billion for the first full 3 months in 2019, according to Comscore. In March of this year, revenue came in at a mere $255.7 million, as new product underwhelmed at the beginning of the month, before moviegoing started slowing. So in other words, it was already in a free fall. Free falling, and I'm free falling. Well, little Corona did hurt a little extra, but the numbers were already in, and they sucked. So again, Hollywood Pedowood, is probably in trouble right now. How many of these movies, directors, film studios, they get I know a guy. I know a guy in Hollywood. A very good, kind, nice man. Not a pedo, not an elitist. He was a stuntman. And then he retired. Actually came to my house one time. Him and his wife came. I finally got to meet him in person. It was great. And he put me in contact with the guy in New Mexico with all the treasure stories that first got my ass out there for the very first time. So if it wasn't for me talking to him and him saying, dude, I actually went out there to film a documentary in several years ago. And the contingency was, if you find something, there'll be a ton of people who want to run the movie or the documentary, like an Oak Island kind of thing. But they ended up being with this investor scammer dude that they didn't know, and he was getting paid regardless. But they realized this guy only wanted the investor money to keep coming in, so he'd always try to fleece them. Oh, we're onto something. We got look. We found these little bars, and he would like melt these bars that are supposed to be Dory bars, and they were not. And there's no gold in them. And this other guy's name is Joe as well, that I know. And he's like, he asked me to do something with him. I'm like, dude, I'm not touching that. Are you crazy? That's like fraud, man. What are you doing? The guy ended up getting in trouble like years later. Just nightmare. But he met this other guy that I know now, my buddy and who's now my buddy in New Mexico, and his brother. Very kind guys. They want to do great stuff with if they can find something. His wife wants to start an orphanage too. Anyways, that put me all in here. It's awesome. But he tells me he was telling me a story one time. Corey Haim, the one that I believe it was Haim that killed himself. Big time on drugs. Again, these people are messed up. When you're raped and stuff as a child, man, you're messed up, dude. Usually for life. And so no shocker, but he was like beating up his girlfriend in one of the trailers. The movie sets. Everybody had their own trailer. And my buddy Joe sees this. He's telling me the story. And this was many, many, many years ago. The story was, but he was telling me recently. So he sees him like beating up his girlfriend or something. So he runs over there, fully opens the door, grabs his ass, throws him over his shoulder, and like slams him down outside, slams him right outside the damn thing. He falls down the steps, and I don't think he punched him, but that was enough. So he said, he started crying, and Corey started crying, and so and he realized, I know these people are messed up, man. He's like, you'd be surprised how many of these so-called A-list actors and stuff come in. They're all on drugs. They're all like, they even come in on drugs, and they just turn the acting mode on, and they just go right into it, and you wouldn't even know it. It's like, it's just infested like that. But anyway, so I know a guy, and he tells me typically you got to get funding they always have to get funding for a movie. They've got to go to the banks, and this guy and that one get funding. Okay, we've got the numbers in. We did this reports, which costs $200,000-$300,000 to get all this stuff together to show, hey, our numbers show that this movie will earn this much money. Okay, let me take that to this bank. They don't want it. Let me take it to that bank. Okay, they'll do it. It's always a loan. So these banks need the money right now, and they're going to get they'll get paid back higher interest than normal usually too, because it's a shorter term loan, or they'll have a part of it where they earn certain revenues back or whatever. They're not getting their money. The banks are not getting their money, and these are not small loans. $200 million for that film, $50 million for that film. Like, it's not you and me. Oh, I defaulted on my $300,000 house, my $200,000 house. No, I'm defaulting on a $100 million movie project there, a $200 there. We have them out. They're supposed to be in the theaters, but the theaters are all shut down. Are some firms about to go bankrupt? And some banks too, because they're not getting their money back. Again, Federal Reserve. There's no more reserve requirements. You don't have to have any reserves to lend out. It's zero requirement now. Lend as much out as you want. You don't have to have any effing money in your bank at all. As a matter of fact, no reserve requirement. Just loan it all out. That was done, a month or two ago, or month and a half ago. No reserve requirements. Can I become a bank? I'll just start creating numbers out of nothing. Zero reserve. I don't need it. I'll just start doing what they do. Let me just put an entry here. I'll give myself. I'm repackaging my own mortgage and selling it off to the next guy. I'll send myself a letter in the mail. Hi, we're your new mortgage lender, servicer of note holder, and start making payments to us now. Oh, okay. Well, good. I'll just pay it off right now with my own little accounting entry. Little accounting entry. That's all it takes. Have a nice day. So yeah. On that note, kind of glad to see the Hollywood taking a little taste of their own medicine. How many of these elitists are being affected right now? You're not earning your revenue. The banks are hounding you. Hey, man, movie's supposed to be out. You're supposed to start making that payment right away. That was the deal. Well, I know, but the pandemic, man. Can I qualify for the mortgage thing? No, they said mortgages only. Mortgages you could possibly get furloughed or whatever, put on the back end for 2 to 3 months, depending on your situation. But you have to show hardship, which you do have a hardship, I understand. But that's for mortgages, not for lending to movie companies like yours. So while we'd like to help you, and we've done a lot of business in the past, you've sent us a ton of money. Our executives and our board members, we are so happy with the amount of interest and stuff you sent us over the years. But listen, every man for themselves right now. We got shareholders that are breathing down my neck. That old chestnut. We need the money. It's my money, and I want it now. And by the way, we call J.G. Wentworth. He only deals with small people. 401ks, a little small lottery. They'll pay it off in 20 years. They pay the person half up front, and they don't have 100 mil that you owe us. And by the way, we do this for a lot of movie studios and stuff. You are not the only one. between you and me, don't repeat it, we have over $1 billion right now in loans to guys just like you, and every one of them are not paying us. However, the Federal Reserve did step in and said we don't have to have any reserve requirements. However, even with that, as citizens get nervous, they start pulling their money out. We don't even have enough money to let them pull it all out. So we used to let them pull out $4,000 per day if they needed to. We've now dropped that down to like 500 to 1,000. And then when they ask for the rest of it, we kind of delay them. So, it's causing all kinds of problems here. So in other words, again, we need our effing money. We need it now. Movie studio dude, I hear you, but I don't have it. As soon as I get it, I'll let you know. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. So maybe we'll get lucky and some of the biggest elitist companies on the face of the earth are going to go under because of this little problem we have right now. Maybe. Take care.